Nah, I fucks with Pat.
Yeah.
Look at how he talks to these niggas.
Yeah, yo.
Yo, turn that shit up.
Turn that shit the fuck up right now.
Talking that shit. Let's go.
Yo. When you up and you winning, shit is awesome. Never felt real pain till a nigga lost one. If somebody take from you, what it's gonna cost them? Tired of niggas acting like they really put in work. Hear the boss come, be yourself. It'll do you better in the long run than see yourself staring down the barrel of a long gun. Some rappers never had no street cred, so they bought some.
And then what I did next, which my family didn't approve it until now they see the bigger picture, is that I went on social media and I told the world what happened and what I have. Because I felt like me telling my fans, the people who supported me, the people who don't know me and everything, there was something that was telling me, especially when I saw how the GoFundMe went, that I had people out there that cared. And I said, you know what? Let me tell the world, because maybe the world will help me with this battle.
Right.
Because not all the time my mother's gonna be next to me. Not all the time my friends or my kids or my wife or anybody's gonna be next. There's gonna be times that I'm gonna be by myself in a room and my mind is gonna go all over the place. So you know what? Let me just open up to the world, and maybe the world will give me some answers. Maybe me telling my story, maybe I could leave a legacy when I do leave this earth. Maybe I could do something for my children.
Right.
My family, especially my mother, she was not happy about it. She was like, oh, this should have been a family thing. This should have been kept a secret. I don't know why you did that. Why did you tell? And I kept saying there was a reason. I didn't know the reason at that time, but there was a reason for me to put it out there. And that's what happened throughout the first 2 years, especially getting chemotherapy. I was letting the world know. I was documenting everything that I was doing. From the days I would go to the doctors, I was documenting myself walking into the hospital, documenting myself when they were putting the needles, documenting myself when I was getting my first chemotherapy. I went from 175 to almost 90 pounds from my chemotherapy. That I was like gone. Like if you see me, you was like, yeah, that's not Pretty Lou. He's definitely not. He's gone. You know what I'm saying? Because of everything that I was going through. For the first 6 months, I was not working. I was just strictly chemotherapy, going home, taking care of myself, and everything else. And to let everybody know, you know, chemotherapy wasn't a fucking a ride. It wasn't a great ride. You know what I'm saying? Like, what people don't understand is that what I went through, and I went through it for 7 years, is that when you get that, I call it the venom. You know what I'm saying? When you get that venom go through your body, it's a feeling that I wish my worst enemy never felt. Because it was just like, it was like you're in a bed getting this treatment, and it feels like you have a wrench in your body, and it's the wrench just getting and just crushing your bones. It felt like my bones was getting crushed. You know what I'm saying? Like my knees were like was just like I couldn't bend them. My knuckles felt so like rare. You know what I'm saying? And the moment like you just want to like just throw up your whole life. It was a feeling that, and I had to go through that chemotherapy sometimes for 5-6 days. I was living it. I was living in the hospital, basically, because I was doing treatment 3 days. I was doing treatment 3 days a week. I was in the hospital Monday, Wednesday, Friday getting treatment all the time. Mind you, getting chemotherapy and getting blood transfusion and getting platelets at the same time into my body.
Because you didn't have enough of a cell count.
Because every time I would push something, it would go right back out.
Right.
It would go right back out. I would have to refuel myself all the time. And I did it for almost 6, 7 years of that. Wow. Every day. You know how bad it was that there was times, it got to a point that the nurses couldn't find my veins anymore.
Damn, that's wild.
That they would have to keep hitting me and finding veins. There was one time I posted on my Instagram that I got poked 13 times. After the 13th time, they found a vein. And throughout those years, that's what I was going through. And I'm going to say something that I haven't never said ever. Not even my wife knows this. I never said this to my wife. But there was times that I did want to give up. There was times that I was like, you know what, God? If you're going to take me now. Because of everything that I was going through. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because of the needles, the doctors, the this, like the, you know, it was just
too much.
It was too much. It was too overwhelming. There was times that when I am home and I'm not feeling great, that I wanted to go and look for a razor and do it myself. You know? Because I couldn't go through it anymore. Me just there crying in pain, like if I was a child, and then seeing your mother and your wife or your children saying like, damn, this is what my dad is going through. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know? My friends. You know? It was crazy. But at the same time that I was going through that people didn't see it. Of course, they just saw it through the gram, whatever I posted. But at the same time, I was going through that, my ass went back to work. My ass went back to work. I was still getting booked 7 nights a week. I was still doing my thing. I ain't stopped. I stopped for the first 6 months in the beginning, and then after that, I remember me and my mother, my brothers, we posted a picture. There's a picture that we posted, and it said, I'm back. In 2015, I'll be back. And I came back. And I never stopped after that. I continued. I went back to work. That there was times that my friends, because he went through it. He went through the same thing. You know what I'm saying? He went through it.
God bless, bro.
My brother Dean probably is the only one during that moment that could understand what I was going through because he went through it.
He can relate.
He could relate, you know? But everybody else was like, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing here? You're supposed to be home. I will get chemotherapy, all right, on a Friday. I'll get chemotherapy. I will be at the hospital at 8 a.m. 8:30, 9 o'clock, they're already starting. I will be in a chair for 8 hours. Getting chemo, getting platelets, getting blood. 8 hours. And then after all that, I will still have to wait another hour to make sure that I'm good. There would be times that my body will reject the blood and platelets that they give me.
Wow.
And you know how I know it would reject? Because you start getting the itching, the rash. Like my mother and my wife at the same time scratching my back.
Oof.
You know, because it was bad. I was catching it bad. It was like, you know, because that was my body saying they're rejecting the blood type. I would do all that. At 12 a.m., I'll be at my first club. MCing. In the club, rocking.
It's a warrior. How? It's crazy.
I built myself that way. Because I said it from the first day that I promised myself I was not going to stop.
Did you feel fatigue or any of that?
I felt everything. But I didn't show the world. I didn't show nobody in that club. They were all with me. They were all with me next to me. And they'd be like, yo, this guy looks like he doesn't look like he just did chemo. He doesn't look like he just did treatment.
I remember that from the post back then. We thought he beat it.
Right.
You look at the post, you think he beat it.
Yeah, but I didn't. And I did it for all those years. For all those years that I was fighting, I did it.
When did you get to the point where you couldn't do that anymore?
There was no point. What stopped me from 2014 finding out to 2019 is when I fell in my coma.
The greatest feeling in the world was holding my own gun. I'm hypertensive, but all my decisions been wholesome. My independence had me flipping on siblings I stole from. Said I'm just big and loud. Well, half a pound is my silent treatment. I punched out plugs I could have stopped from eating.
Stash of the product, shy nigga got a gun in the mask in the grass, it's a popper. I was Robin Hood with the stock, don't get shot up. Now I'm watching Robin Hood in my stocks, they just shot up.
Now you can either accept that or you can get to work. That's all it is. You just do the math.